what's this? A video? Again? After 6 months of putting out another video that did okay, you know? I'm finally doing another video again, and it's about arcade sticks, if anyone even gives a shit. Anyway, woo! So, arcade sticks. They are a great way to go to a local tournament or a friend's house and then have everyone look at you and be like, why did you spend money over $100 on a arcade part, on an arcade stick, on a piece of hardware that came out of a box and was put into controller form instead of it being, you know, mounted into a box? The reason why you'd probably want to play on arcade sticks is mainly due to the fact that, for me, it's I like playing on arcade cabinets, so why can't I just play on my arcade stick that I bought? Speaking of arcade sticks, this is the, oh shit, mine is still plugged in. Hang on, let me extend the cable a little bit. It has a little door to hide your cable, very convenient. My stick is the Hori Wrap in Tekken Edition that I have customized with some Saimetsu buttons. They're flat buttons. I really like the flat kind of feel and that sound. Oh my god, that sound. Let me get a close up on that sound here. And then it just has the standard Hayabusa stick that it came with, which is on a square gate. Not a fan of this stick personally, but I mean, it makes do. I plan on getting maybe a Saimetsu stick, mainly because of the way it is designed. If anyone would like to know about any of that stuff, I can make a video, but this is for beginners. It's kind of a nutshell of as to what arcade cabinets or arcade sticks do. So to kind of go over everything on this stick, it's really easy to play with, minus the fact that the square gate can kind of get on my nerves. With Fightsticks, you have different kinds of gates known as like okay, so in this one right here, right, this gate goes in a square. So the left, you know, down, right, up, and then back around. It's a square. It's a perfect square. Because of that, it can be a little difficult to get off corner inputs. So when you're trying to do like a fireball, like a Hadouken, or Shoryuken, you know, that kind of Z input, it's a little difficult to hit because you have to get that corner and catch it just right. Either that or I'm just fucking trash. That's all there is to it. Then you have, I think, octagonal gates, which are kind of like perfect example right here, GameCube controller. So you see how on the stick here it has like that octagonal ridge going all the way around it. That's an octagonal gate right there. They're a little bit harder to use on stick at first, but they can provide more of a precise way to put in inputs on your stick, and that's really nice. And one day I might end up getting one for this stick or another stick that I end up buying. It's just that arcade sticks are really expensive and I'm poor, so there you have it. I waste money on things that I don't need. Then you have Japanese versus Korean sticks, and Japanese sticks usually have restrictor gates on them, which restrictor gates are what I just pretty much explained, you know, the gates, square gate, octagonal gates. With Korean sticks, from what I understand, they don't really have restrictor gates on them. They only really have like silicone grommets that hold them, and they pretty much like go in a circular motion. I know they're really good for Tekken, and pretty much all Korean arcades, you know, use that kind of style stick. I want to try it out eventually, but bank account is 0. Moving on from square gates to buttons. So buttons don't really fucking matter. I mean, I can't say they don't matter because they kind of do. You have like a couple different kinds of buttons. It's really just personal preference. With these, you know, these Saimetsu buttons here, they have, you know, a quieter noise than the Hayabusa buttons. I can actually grab some Hayabusa buttons because I took them out of this one. Hang on. So for this demonstration, I can actually show you what buttons kind of look like outside of the stick. So these are the Hayabusa buttons that came with the the Hori Wrap in Tekken 7 edition. And that's just kind of what a button really looks like. It has these 2 golden prongs on it, and you pretty much just wire these into the stick. And usually a stick has like a color coding, like diagram or whatever to go with, you know, rewiring it for different buttons. When I put these yellow buttons in, I took a picture and everything just to make sure I had it right, and I put them in backwards. I flipped the inputs, and I did not have a good time having to unscrew the entire thing again. Mainly because the Hori Wrap in Tekken 7 Edition stick has these washers in them on top of the bolts here. And actually, this is a little side note for anyone wanting to buy this stick. It's a great stick when you don't take it apart. On the front, you have these 6 bolts here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way around. So under this bolt is, a plastic little tunnel feeding the screw through, and then on the underside of that is a washer that is not glued in to the stick itself. And because of that, the washers can just fall out whenever they feel like it. So if you push too hard when you're trying to screw stuff back in, good luck, because then you have to take off this back panel, especially if it gets under the board for the headphone jack. If it gets under the board for the headphone jack, you absolutely have to take this back off to put the screw back in, because then you have to take the headphone jack board out of the stick, and it's not fun at all. This is the most frustrating process. Getting the artwork on wasn't even hard. It was just taking it apart and putting it back together. Ooh. Anyway, you have different buttons that sound entirely different. These Hayabusa buttons are very loud and very clicky. I don't like this. I don't like this sound at all. I'm not a big fan of that. Whereas, this stick right here, a little quieter, not as clacky, and I like that. And of course, you can get different kinds of buttons to, I guess they make different sounds. Some are a lot quieter. They also have, these here are click-in buttons. Same with the ones that are in my stick down there, the Saimetsus. They have these 2 little prongs on the side. I don't know if you can really see. Yeah, there's one prong, and then there's another prong right there. These prongs are a pain in the dick to get out of the stick. I don't like them, but they stay in really well. And then you have screw-in buttons, which I think you just pretty much just screw them in a whole lot easier. And you have a range of different kinds. There's ones that are like super big, and then there's ones that are small like this one, and then the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Cutting back to Korean sticks, I would like to say that the Korean sticks are also the ones that have those bat tops at the top, like the ones that are that tall. And that's pretty much it for the sticks. And here, I will now insert the part of the video where I show the inside of an arcade stick. Now we're gonna take this bad boy apart. So it depends on what kind of stick you have, but mine has hex bolts on it, or Allen key bolts. So all you gotta do, just do this. Now, as I said before, with these, you don't want to push down too hard, or else the washer on the underside will fall out. And then you want to just end it, bro. You just want to end it. So when you take all the bolts out of the fight stick, you kind of have, with this specific version, so you have like the plexi and your artwork that you can put under here, which I got this artwork custom printed at Focus Attack, along with the buttons and the joystick. And the art here is actually from my personal favorite weeb show, Hunter x Hunter. I'm not going to get into the specifics as to what it's from, because I don't want to spoil it too terribly much, but this is my favorite king right here. The best fucking character in the whole show. Anyway, enough with my weeb shit. All you gotta do when you take the bolts out, what I do is I kind of lift it from the stick a little bit, very gently. You don't want to fucking just, pull that shit out. You kind of just lift it, and then underneath you have all of the wiring under there. And here, let me disconnect the joystick real quick. This is the underneath of a controller, or of a fight stick. Some fight sticks, like the Dragon Ball FighterZ Razor stick, have buttons on them which allow you to press it and it just fucking opens. And I don't know why fight stick companies don't do that more. Why do I have to take these bolts out, and why do you have to have these stupid little washers in them that make it hard to pull it out? Just a little complaint. But anyway, over here you have the board for the, I guess, controls up here, which is just like, this is a PS4/PS3/PC stick, so you have a PlayStation button on it. You have your share button, your L2 button, or I'm sorry, your L3 button and your R3 button, and then I believe this is turbo right here. And then you have these little switches here that they do their own little thing, including switching from PS3 to PS4 mode. I rarely use these switches though because I play on PC. I leave it in PS4 mode. I just plug the shit in. It works. You have this this joystick module here, and it plugs in with these pins over here and this connector right here. You unplug this connector. You take out the things right here, the screws, and you can totally just remodify this stick, including with this little middle turning thing right here, this turning screw. This allows you to take the ball top off and replace it. And again, what I mentioned earlier, the buttons are wired in here and they're color coded, so you have blue, purple, gray, you know, it may be different depending on what stick you have, but these little things literally just like slide off like that, and you just slide them back on and you're done. That's kind of what the underside of most arcade sticks is going to look like. So yeah, that's pretty much it with Fightsticks. Oh, I did want to mention one more thing. You do have different PCB modules, I believe is what it's referred to as. PCB modules are essentially like the board that allows you to play a fight stick, and you have different kinds of boards. Like the one in my fight stick is a PS4 board, but then you have some that can play like all platforms or just Xbox One or PS1, PS2, that kind of thing, Dreamcast, that kind of stuff. So yeah, other than that, that is pretty much it for the fight stick video. I just felt like putting something out on the channel because it's just kind of dry. It's a little dry, and I don't want it to die. I've had too many channels die already because I'm fucking lazy. Yeah, you can go follow me on social media, Instagram, at Dislo Music, Twitter, same thing, I believe. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I will be trying to stream more. I'm just trying to figure out a good consistent schedule because I work 5 days a week, specifically at night, so if I were to stream, I'd be streaming during the day. I also have to do schoolwork because I am still in college. But other than that, yeah, if you guys like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, dislike it. Tell me how much you hate me. I always love that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.